Well, we were invited to go to Liberia by a Liberian pastor who had fled during the war. He was a friend of ours when we lived in the Boston area.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the first chance he had to go back after the war was finished in 2005. He invited my husband and myself to go along, and we decided to also take our daughter who had just graduated from college.
Mm-hmm. So there wasn't any like specific group you were set out with?
No, we went independently with our friend, but we felt like we could go with him because he knew the country. He had grown up there, he had lived there, and he knew the group that we were going to visit, the churches that we were going
Mm-hmm.
to visit.
Okay. When you got there, what were your first thoughts about it?
My first thoughts were about how primitive it was. When we landed at the airport, it was just a very primitive landing strip. We got out of the plane, we walked across the grass. It was late at night and it was very dark. There were hardly any lights on. When we came in to do customs and show our passports, there was just a little dingy room with a light bulb hanging in the middle, and there was all kinds of people. It was really hot. There was no air conditioning. And it was just a very creepy kind of experience,
Yeah.
kind of scary, kind of
Is
a
it-
scary experience.
Is it like how people like stereotype like that Africa is like having like monkeys and giraffes and lions running around?
Oh, no, not at all. It was an urban area,
Mm-hmm.
and yet, even though it was urban, there was no street lights. People were sitting outside around little fires. It was very, very poor. But you have to realize this country, Liberia, had just come through civil war, so they had no electrical grid, they had no sanitation system working. It had at one time been a fairly advanced country in the West African area, but because of the war, everything was destroyed.
Yeah.
So
Did you
basically,
guys have to stay in a little house without any electricity or anything like that?
well, the way they run their electricity without having like an electrical system is they have generators, gas powered. So certain hours of the day you could have electricity. So you could have light and you could have some power to do your work. Like even computers, you could plug them in when the generator was running.
So like the whole house would just run on this one little generator?
Wow.
Wow.
That's right.
What were a few of the different experiences you had on your trip?
Well, on our trip, my daughter and I were going to do children's outreaches. We were going to teach the Bible lessons to children. A lot of the children hadn't been in school for quite a few years. They had just reopened the public schools and the Christian schools, and even then, a lot of the children still weren't in school. But the weeks that we were there, it was Christmas vacation, and so we did like VBS, Vacation Bible School kind of programs with puppets and music and skits and teaching them Bible stories and that type of thing. And every day we had probably close between 400 and 600 children come.
Yeah.
And it was just kids in the neighborhood just coming through and, you know.
How'd the kids react to that?
They loved it. They were so excited. We had these big Sesame Street kind of style puppets, and they had never seen puppets. Some of them were afraid of them at first. They were afraid of us. They had never, a lot of them hadn't seen a lot of white people. So especially the younger children, like under 2 years old, they would cry when they saw us. It's probably like looking at an albino or something to them, you know.
I know you have friends in Liberia from your trip, and how did you meet them?
Well, we met everyone through our friend, Bishop Hilary Gaboto. He's the head of these group of churches over there, and so.
And he introduced you?
Yeah, he introduced us. A lot of them were his relatives, and then people in the churches that he oversaw, the pastors and different people. And we had a driver all week who drove us around, and so we got to know him and his wife. His wife works for the UN, so you know she has a really good job. She has access to a computer, so we still email each other back and forth from time to time. Yeah.
And did you have to stay at one of their houses?
No, we stayed at a little Baptist compound, a retreat center, and it was kind of like a little cottages, I guess is how I would describe it. And there was also people from the UN staying there, so it wasn't just us. It was, you know, people from all over the world. There were people from Zimbabwe. A man from India was staying there with us. And almost everyone staying at that little compound was working for the UN at the time.
All right.
The United Nations. Yeah.
All right. So, do you plan on going back for a third time, is it?
Yeah, we're hoping to go back again in January of 2008. And in 2008, we hope to bring a group of men to help build a church and start 3 businesses. We want to start a construction business. We want to start a computer school because we are going to be shipping 30 computers that we have donated. And we also want to start an internet cafe so they can earn different ways for the churches, people in the churches to earn money and to run businesses.
Are these cafes going to be at the churches?
Probably not. They'll be on some of the main busy streets. You have to. It's kind of tricky to run an internet cafe because, of course, no electrical grid. You have to do it with generators and kind of tricky.
Have you donated? You and the church donated anything to Liberia so far?
We sent a shipment on about a year ago, maybe. Yeah, a year ago, we sent a Jeep and school supplies, books for the schools, some different supplies for the churches. And we're getting ready to send another shipment in August of this year with 2 vehicles, 30 computers, and then various building supplies and tools.
All right.
For the business.
Will those computers go to the cafes?
Yeah, they will go to the school, the computer school, and we're also going to bring 2 people to train people there to run the computer school. They'll have a whole week crash course learning how to learn all the computer programs, how to teach them. It's going to be pretty exciting.
And what are the cars going for?
The cars will be for the ministry. It's a